Using the KS2, I felt like Pentax's engineers and designers watched my video on the KS1, took notes on everything about that camera that I disliked, removed all of those features, added everything that I said I wanted, and then added a whole bunch more to it as well. The result is the best entry-level DSLR that I have ever used. The KS2 is so clearly geared towards photographers that I cannot fathom how anyone who uses it, truly uses it and gets to know it, could ever settle for a lesser camera. The KS2 will spoil you for other camera brands. You will just demand too much from your camera. The KS2's capabilities are on par with the Pentax flagship K3. For buying the entry-level KS2, all the photographer sacrifices are a second LCD and some slightly more convenient menu layouts. But that's not to in any way disparage the KS2. This camera is so easy to learn, so capable of taking high-quality images, and so well designed from a user interface perspective that it becomes an easy partner in capturing images. In the time that I had the KS2, I took about 5,000 photos with it. These included astrophotography, sports and action, nature and landscapes, macros, and portraits. In every setting, the KS2 did what I asked, better than I expected it to, and at the end of the shoot seemed to be looking up at me and thinking, wait, we're done already? The biggest, and for me the most important improvement that Pentax made on the KS2 is that this camera sips battery power. On a single battery's charge, I filled a 64 gigabyte memory card and still had 1 bar of battery power left. The ergonomics are a huge improvement too. It has some streamlined looks, but returns to a more classic and shapely Pentax form. The grip is marvelous. Everyone who I asked to hold the KS2, my fiance, random people, random people's kids, colleagues, they all said it felt fantastic in their hands. And people who were used to Nikon and Canon DSLRs, oh yeah, they preferred the way the KS2 felt in their hands over the Nikon and Canon bodies to which they were accustomed. This, I think, says more than any flowery accolade can. The other makers' users had camera envy. But Ricoh went beyond simply fixing all that ailed the KS1. They made the KS2 a stunning camera. The Wi-Fi by itself is a stupendous addition. Using the camera from my smartphone makes it a lot easier to get risky shots. For the nature photographer, this is a good way for you to get photos of a venomous snake or to get your camera up close to coyotes feasting on a roadkill deer. Paired with a suitable RC car chassis, the Wi-Fi feature allows you to take those high-risk nature photos that everyone loves and still go home without a scratch. But that's not all it's for. If you like taking photos of rally car races but don't really want to be hit if a car tumbles around a turn, well, the Wi-Fi allows you to take those photos from a safe distance. If you want to photograph a train as it passes and not risk being sucked under it or hit, the Wi-Fi allows you to do that. The Wi-Fi feature allows you to take the sort of gonzo photos you've dreamt of but have the good sense to avoid the risk of taking. But the Wi-Fi isn't just for high adrenaline photography. In real life, I work for a construction company. The Wi-Fi paired with a smartphone and data connection could allow high-resolution, highly detailed images of structural concerns, improper construction practices, against design, construction, or safety issues to travel to a structural engineer, project manager, or safety officer a mile or 10 time zones away. You can take high-grade photos of your son or daughter scoring a soccer goal and then share the best photos anyone in the stands are taking on Facebook and do it almost as fast as the people who are taking photos with their smartphones. A doctor could take a detailed macro photo or multiple detailed photos of a patient's medical issues and email them immediately to an expert in another state or country, all without interrupting the rest of their appointment with that patient. The Wi-Fi feature on this camera has so many beneficial and creative uses as to defy easy quantification. If you get this camera, you will find a way to use the Wi-Fi, and it will make your experience with this camera better. Is the Wi-Fi perfect? No, not at all. My wish list for a firmware update is that, in the future, the Wi-Fi app could control any shooting mode, including video. Right now, it only controls single-frame shooting. I'd like it if the Wi-Fi app could control multiple bodies at once, but insofar as I know, having only had one KS2 to test, the app can probably only control one camera at a time. Or it would be great if Ricoh added some of those features to the Wi-Fi control only for the APS-C flagships and future full-frame lineup. That would be fine too. Pentax always wades into the pool before they perform a high dive. They can eke more out of the Wi-Fi, and I believe they will. So, who is the KS2's target audience? It's geared toward the entry-level market, but it has all the bells and whistles that will keep intermediate, advanced, and even professional users happy. Sure, it lacks a few of the interface elements of the K3 and K3 II, but it lacks no functionality. From a functional perspective, the KS2 is the K3's peer in every regard. That approach to camera making differentiates a Pentax entry-level body from any other camera maker's entry-level body. Pentax, more accurately Ricoh, provide for their users a pathway to grow with their cameras and, in time, to graduate to a more advanced body without it being a huge learning curve every time they step up. In no other maker is there as much care directed toward the user experience as with Ricoh's Pentax camera lineup. And to everyone who loves Pentax and hates Ricoh, that's rather akin to loving beer and hating wheat. Ricoh, under the Pentax badge, is making the best and most exciting cameras on the market today. The KS2 is a prime example, very possibly at the top of that exciting camera list. But here's the bottom line. If you buy a KS2 today, will it grow with you as a photographer? Yes, easily and as far as you want to go with it. In fact, if you really take your time to learn everything that your KS2 can do, you will find that it can teach you new tricks. Your KS2 will lead you into areas of creative photography into which you had never ventured. Your KS2 could, in fact, make you a better photographer as long as you have the creative vision to support your KS2. And that's something that I've never said about any camera ever before.